Welcome back from the break, and if you've just joined us, the program is Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Now we want to talk about children, how we can protect their rights, and how they can, also protect them from all forms of abuses. And we have a child rights advocate with us in the studio to talk to us. We have Barrister Elizabeth Ebulejonu Achimogu. She's also the founder Protect the Child Foundation. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
You're welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to be here. Yes. So this morning we are looking at preventing child sexual abuse in Nigeria. It is good we talk about how our children, to be aware of their rights. Now, let's start this way. As a child rights advocate, what are the rights of a Nigerian child according to the Constitution?
Okay, so the Nigerian child, just like every human being, have rights. You know that the first right is that human rights. For the fact that you're a human being, you have rights. So also the Nigerian child. And in Nigeria, the Child Rights Act has listed out the lots of rights of the Nigerian child. In fact, the rights of the child starts from the womb. So anything that is done against the child, even from the womb, when the child is born, he can actually seek for damages.
Wow.
This is interesting.
Yes, because in Nigeria, it's a pro-life. It's a pro-life country where we believe that life starts from the womb. Mm-hmm. So every child has a right, and that's why abortion is illegal in Nigeria. Yes. So they have rights. So first of all, they have right to life, right to be alive. So you cannot kill a child because their life belongs to the state. Even though you were the one that gave birth to them, their life does not belong to you. So you cannot say, "Now me born you, I go do anything I want to do with you. I can kill you and nobody will say anything."
Government will come after you.
Yes.
I like that.
So they have a right to life. They have a right to dignity of human person. So they have to be treated with dignity. You don't say, this one a small picking, I beg, come on, wait till you know. Everybody deserves dignity. That has to be treated as a human being, not to be treated as an animal, not to be treated as a toy. They have rights to education. They have rights to play. Yes, it's one of the things in the Child Rights Act. It's their right to play.
But when it becomes excess, as parents now.
Yeah, excess, but excess is the problem.
Okay.
Yes, they even have a right to not to have tribal marks.
Okay.
Yes, it's actually a breach of their right to give them tribal marks now based on the Child Rights Act. And so they have lots of rights ranging from education, culture, to practice their culture, to celebrate. That's why in schools now we do like cultural day to bring them to understand their cultures. And they also have a right for their safety. So the caregivers have a duty to protect children from harm and from danger. That's where things like child sexual abuse come to play. They have a right not to be married as early. So because they are children, and under the rights, a child is somebody less than 18 years old, Child Rights Act. So a child less than 18 years old shouldn't be engaging in marriage or any sexual activity. Because when you engage in any sexual activity with a person less than 18 years old, it is child sexual abuse. And it's not a case of she's big or he's big. It was him or her that came to meet me. He's my girlfriend, she's my boyfriend, he's my boyfriend. Once the person is less than 18 years, it's child sexual abuse. So they have lots of rights.
Okay, talking about this child sexual abuses, it's on the rights. Even with this level of awareness and what you people are doing is still on the rights. Let's look at some of the causes. I know you pointed out some, but what really want you to talk to us more. Let's even look at some of the real causes why we have all of this everywhere.
So child sexual abuse, there are lots of causes. One of the things is that they have a culture of silence. We say these are things nobody should talk about. If you talk about it, it's going to expose children to abuse. So a lot of children, while they are abused, they are silent. They keep quiet because they feel it is a taboo.
And
Should not talk about
stigma.
it. Yes, that's stigma. Also stigmatization of survivors. Instead of us to go after the rapist and disgrace the person, we go after the survivor. Recently, we were on the streets talking with people about sexual abuse. And a girl told us she said she got molested at the age of 10.
Wow.
Yes, and it was their neighbor. And when they report to the parents didn't believe them. And the neighbor's wife said, "It is you people's fault. You are dressing to seduce my husband." And I asked her, "How old were you then?" She said 10. And I was like, how can the
The 10-year-old
10-year-old seduce a mature man?
Mm.
So you find that now they're now shifting the blame to the victim, to the
Mhm.
survivor, instead of that stigma. So they shift it to the person and make it look like it is her fault that she's being abused. So it's the blame game. We blame the survivors. We tell them, if you had not dressed this way, it wouldn't have happened. If you had not gone to this place, it wouldn't have happened. If you had not done this and done that. And nobody's looking at the person who did it
Honestly.
and saying, why did you do this thing?
Honestly. And sorry to interrupt you. This reminds me of a story of a girl who said, I think there are other 4 girls or 3 girls, but their mom died early. And their dad, she said she's about 20 something, said their mom died like 10 years back. So like for 15 years so on, their dad has been sleeping with them. Said the only person, the last girl, was the one that said, no, she can't be part of this. And said for that, the dad pushed them out. So she now went on social media kind of to say this is, and the most annoying thing was if you hear people's response, so what were you waiting for since? All these years, now are you sure you are, or is it because your daddy remarried and stories upon, and the girl was like, look at these people, you don't know, she said this, the trauma she went through and all that, and nobody believed that. So in a case like that, when it involves the father or a close relation, what happens? Same law still goes against such.
Yes, whosoever does that. I've had, like what you said, I had a complaint, then a report came and they said a girl is being molested by the father. And they said they have to take the girl to the village for cleansing. And the blame now shifts to the person. Most times the society have a way of turning the blame to the victim or survivor, and turning it around to blame the person and say, okay, like you said, why didn't you speak up early? Means you were enjoying it. But especially for boys, when a boy says he has been raped, you say, yeah, can you rape a boy? You enjoy it. It's not possible. So they start blaming you. You enjoyed it. If you did not enjoy it, why didn't you shout? Okay, why didn't you talk? So that's culture of silence, ignorance also. People really don't know about these things, what constitutes abuse. And we know sexual abuse, we have the contact and non-contact form. Now, the non-contact form are the ones that nobody's actually touching the child, but they're exposing the child to a lot. Like, for example, you find somebody who is exposing the child to pornography. You say, I want to spice up my marriage. You have pornography in your phone, and your child has access to the phone, and the child is watching the pornography. Parents trying to make love in the presence of children, and the children will see these things and will want to practice it with other children they see around them. Also, people taking it as a family affair. Recently, we had a case that anytime I think of it, I am sad, I am angry, I am broken. A 5-year-old was raped by her teacher, an 18-year-old boy who is the assistant teacher. He was raped. She was raped in school. She came to school and she was the only one in the school at that time. And the boy raped her. So we invited. We swung into action. We came and we went to different police stations so that they could reach the police station that can attend to the matter. They were taken to the hospital. After everything, the complainant called us and said, that the family called and said that they cannot take it and they are not doing it again. And the husband said that he's from village, that after all she's married to him. So she must obey whatever the decision of the family.
That's the girl's parents.
Yes, that's the problem.
And this is not the first case. Child sexual abuse is not a family matter. And when people continue to make it look like a family matter, it emboldens this abuser. This boy is 18 already.
And he's still a child.
He has already started raping people. Imagine if
when he gets to 20 years, and above.
Imagine what will happen to girls or children around him.
Wow.
So a lot of people will say, let us leave it as family.
They are giving us sign already, but we just need to talk about this before we go. Yes, you talked about the culture of silence, and just this example you gave about how parents will cover up some and now bring up stories. They are not. They want to protect their family name and all of those things. In that case, the victims They are going through a lot. How can such victim be identified by, for instance, like your group, and how can they be, advocated for?
So we Protect Child Foundation, we do advocacies in schools, we have a strong social media presence, and we talk to people. I remember one of the programs we went to, after talking with the student had more like a flashback and reached out to us. It's a primary school and said she has been abused before. And we invited the parents. She was staying with somebody actually. So we invited the parents and they came and said, it's true actually, she had been abused before. That's why they took her, because where she was staying was not a good place for her safety. So we had to counsel her. So some of them, most of them, we end up having to counsel them because the trauma is real. For a lot of them, it affects their academic performance, it affects their relationship with people. The impact is not, it's not just sex, the impact is deeply rooted. Some of them begin to perform poorly in school, and some of them begin to bedwet. Some of them can no longer sleep at night because they begin to have nightmares. This flashback keep coming up, so they wake up crying, and a lot. So the impact is deeply rooted. Some even grew up to hate sex.
Yeah.
They hate the opposite sex because some of them grew up not even want to marry. While some grew up now to become sexual perverts because they were abused, they begin to abuse other people.
Wow, we
Your
are becoming
final word,
emotional about the whole thing. Give us your final words before we go.
Let's. What do you think the society, the government, in fact, everybody, as your final, what do you think we can do, at least to help him?
Okay, so first, the awareness of child sexual abuse that it exists should continue. People should be encouraged to speak out and speak up about abuse. Do not shame survivors. Do not silence them. What they need is our support, our care. Perpetrators, abusers should not be left to go scot-free. Abusers should be arrested and punished.
Wow.
They should be, just like Ekiti State is doing, they should be posters naming and shaming sex offenders register. I know NAPTIP has it too. Sex offenders register. Let us post it. Let people see them. Let them know that this person is a molester. Anywhere it goes, people know, and it will affect the person's chances of getting a job. And also, we should not protect the abusers. Like this boy now, that day also when we were there, the father was with him, trying to protect him, trying to see how he could escape them, because for him it is a thing of shame for his child to be known as a rapist. But forgetting that the person who has raped is also somebody else's
Yeah.
child. So the punishment should be stiffer and prosecution of these cases should be faster, faster. And also the police should be given enough resources. I know most times they say there's resource, but we need more resources because in most cases, when cases of abuse are reported, you find that they tell you open fire. Even though when the police tell you not to, but in reality they tell you open fire. They tell you this. You find yourself spending to move around. And for a lot of families, that is a discouragement. It's like putting salt on injury. My child is raped, and I'm also having to spend to facilitate some of these things. So some of them feel the expense is too much. So we've had a lot of cases of people like that. When they look at the expense,
They just say they don't
please,
want it
it's okay.
to. Yeah.
It's okay. Let's just leave
Wow.
everything to God.
Wow, wow.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
so much. Like
your
she said,
time
we're
with us.
becoming emotional
Emotional about the
because
whole
when you
thing,
talked about the 5 years old girl and it's like the imagination, the thought of itself is something else. So thank you so much. We'll be
appreciate
speaking
your
with
time.
barrister Elizabeth Achimogu. I hope I'm right. Okay, she's a child rights advocate and founder Protect the Child Foundation. And we've been talking on preventing child sexual abuse in Nigeria. It's a horrible thing. Even saying it alone is something else. So please don't abuse. Don't abuse a child. And she said the law will come after you if you do that. And then please, if you abuse, speak up. If you don't speak up, you're giving the violators the opportunity to keep doing what they are doing. Okay. Thank you so much.